Morning, Eddie.
Okay.
Nice to see you. It feels like we just finished Saturday's game. Here we are again, Groundhog Day. You were very open and honest after the Brentford defeat on Saturday. Now you've sort of had 24 hours to reflect. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I always try to be honest, whether we've played well or played badly, and try and give my honest feedback to you guys. I think that's important. Yeah, I was really disappointed on Saturday with the result. We tried to take ownership of that, and now we're focused on the future. And I think hopefully a good day's training today, and a massive game tomorrow.
What in general do you need to do better? Because that was what you said on Saturday. You said, look, I need to do a lot better. I mean, obviously you've not had a lot of time to think, but what are the main sort of pillars there?
Well, I think firstly, I think we have to defend better. I think when you look back at the last run of games, we haven't defended our goal well enough. That's cost us in those games. So I think it's a simple thing to say and sometimes a difficult thing to execute. But we need to find solutions to our defensive vulnerabilities. And of course, we need to be more clinical the other way. I think the two things go hand in hand. We've not defended well enough, and we haven't been clinical enough the other end. So it's a bad mix, and that's the big issues for us.
You were missing, I think you got 5 players out just now, but 3 of them in the shape of Miley, Joe Linton and Anthony Gordon, I think probably closer than the other 2. Where are they with their respective injuries, and is there any chance of any of the trio for tomorrow?
Miley I need to see today. We'll get another update on his progress. He got a nasty bang to his leg, so it was like a sort of a dead leg that's dragged on a little bit longer than we thought, so we'll see how he is. Gordon we'll make a check on today and see how he's progressing. Hopefully a big improvement in him. Joe Linton won't make this game.
Thank you.
Andy?
Eddie, Keith Can just alluded to it there. We saw, I don't know, honest you were for certain, but dejected a little bit in that post-match presser. How do you feel now versus how you felt then? And what have the last 24 hours been like for you personally, would you say?
Always tough when you feel the team isn't playing at the level it should. That's always a tough emotion for me, because you have to take responsibility for that, and that's what I tried to do after the game. Then it's about trying to find solutions. Then it's about speaking to the players, trying to get their individual games back to the level that we know they're capable of being at. And then the collective mentality and feeling within the group takes even more importance. So a combination of those things is what I've been focusing on. I think always the raw emotions of a defeat linger until such time where you then focus on the next one, and that's very much where I am now.
Can't believe I'm asking this of a bloke who came back, 6-7 weeks after you had pneumonia towards the end of last season, but is this one of the toughest periods for you here at Newcastle so far?
Yeah, I think so. I think any time when you're not getting the results that you want, I don't think performances have been particularly bad. Statistically, we're still pretty strong in every game, but the results certainly haven't matched that. So it's been a difficult run of games. It continued to be a difficult run of games for us. But that's where we all need to show our strength of character and our resolve and our resilience and our feeling that how important this is to us. And that needs to show most importantly on the pitch.
With that in mind, we've talked a lot, haven't we, about Newcastle being at the best when the club is united, ultimately. How important is it to show that unity tomorrow night in what is now a massive, massive game against a struggling Tottenham Hotspur?
Yeah, the unity aspect is always important. I think if you don't have that, you lose everything. At the moment, we still have that, and that's the most important thing. The supporters, even on Saturday, were incredible for us. Again, that's never taken for granted. That's never, from our side, expected. We have to earn it. We have to continue to have the respect of our supporters. And the only way we can do that is with our intention in the next game, with how we attack the next game, with everything that we give off with our body language. The supporters will feed off it, and we need to make sure it's a positive response. I'm confident it will be, and I can't thank the loyalty from the supporters enough.
Thank you. Adam?
Hey, what's frustrating you the most about what you're seeing on the pitch domestically?
I'd say our in the last few games, definitely our defensive performances haven't been strong enough. So there's a big emphasis for us on that currently. I think if we can fix those issues that we've had in the last few games, then I think I back the team to get results and pick up points, because as much as I say we haven't been clinical the other way, I still feel we're very much a goal threat in every game.
You're obviously still fighting on three fronts, obviously Europe, FA Cup, Premier League. Which is your priority?
Priority is all of them. It's the next game. Make no apologies for that. The next game always comes into focus. So right now it's Tottenham, and that will be everything to us. After that game, we're focused to the next one.
Thank you. Go to Damien and Louise, please.
Morning, Eddie. As a coach or a manager, do you almost have to be at your best when you're up against it a bit?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's where your qualities have to come to the fore, because that's where everyone is looking at you to set the tone. People want to follow. That's human nature. So if you have strength as a leader in these moments, you can drag everybody with you, and that's where it's the most important time to stand up and show your character and to show how much it means to you. And that's what we're going to try and do, me and the staff. We've got a great group of players. We've got a really honest group. We've got a group that really care. So I've got no issue on that side. We just need the quality in our performances to improve.
Thank you. Go to Louise, Lee, and then to Luke, please.
Morning, Eddie. Do you feel that, fatigue aside, that ultimately in the long term, being better in possession is a bigger problem? Because obviously if you were better in possession, you could have little rests in the sense of managing a game better. And whereas at the moment, like Keith Andrews and Daniel Farker talked about the chaos that you always get in games here. Now that chaos going for the throat can really work to your advantage, but if it goes too much the other way, do you feel that it could kind of engulf you if you can't keep the ball properly?
Yeah, I think there's of course challenges for us in possession and out of possession. We need to be better with the ball. I think that was evident on Saturday. We didn't have long enough spells in possession, which meant the control aspect of our game was poor. Very transitional game. In some senses, though, I think history tells us that the transitional games we're really good at. So the Leeds game, for example, that you mentioned, that helped us win that game. The fact it was end-to-end, the fact that it was open and our attacking players could take advantage of that. So it's very game dependent. Probably against Liverpool and Manchester City in recent games, the transitional aspect didn't help us. So it's always something that we're monitoring.
Thank you. Lee?
Eddie, I think you touched on it on Saturday night. You said basically no one can put you under the pressure that you put under yourself, because you're almost working pretty much 24/7. Can you just give a little bit of context on that, please?
Yeah, I care so much about what I do. I care so much about the club. The club for me is always number one. Not myself, not any of the players. To a degree, it's the club and what that stands for. Of course, the players are a huge part of that. So I will always act in the best interest in the club with every decision that I make, whether that's about me or about any individual player. So I think when you're trying to act in that way and you're trying to think of the bigger picture, sort of the pressure that individuals or other people can put on you, it's irrelevant really. I have to live with my own thoughts of myself and what I'm delivering, and that's very honest to say that after the game that I need to do better, and I will do better. It's part of the evolution, it's part of growing, and these challenging moments are where you grow the most. So I'm looking forward to trying to do that.
Thank you. Luke?
Is your appetite for this job and your resilience, or you're talking about resilience there and coming through adversity, are you still as determined to do that now as you were when you arrived 4.5 years ago?
Yeah, I think I am. I think going back to the previous question, I think the club's always number one, as I said, and I think you've got to, from my perspective, I've got to think that I am the right person for the job and I'm giving value and I'm helping the players and I'm the right person to get results, ultimately. So as long as I feel that in my heart and in my spirit, then my desire and my motivation levels are as high as they've ever been. But I think that's the key question I always have to ask myself. Am I the right person to take the team and the club forward?
How long did it take you to decide that on Sunday?
Well, it's not something I judge every day. It's a feeling that you have, and as long as that feeling is there and remains inside of me, I'll fight every day to the maximum that I can for success for the club.
Thank you. Go to Chris, Craig and Jordan, please.
Morning, Eddie. You spoke about the group of players being honest earlier. I think some of the discourse after the game on Saturday, there were some accusations that maybe the players hadn't been given their all and that it wasn't all there. How would you respond to that? Do you think that was a fair criticism, or would you defend them?
I would defend them. I think it's an easy criticism to make, in the sense that when you don't win and the performance wasn't at the level that we want it to be, to accuse the players of that. But obviously I see a different side. I see the preparation. I see the players in every moment, and I sort of get the feeling. I've had groups that you would question their honesty. I'm not sat here always saying the same things. Not necessarily here, because I think we've had some unbelievable teams, and the squad now I think is really, really strong in terms of psychology. But we have to answer those questions, and the only place to do that is on the pitch. So if there are suggestions that people felt that we didn't execute everything or leave it all out on the pitch, then we have to take that on the chin. But the only way to respond is on the pitch, and to make sure that we hold ourselves accountable to the highest standards.
Thank you. Greg?
Eddie, what do you do next at centre forward? Because if you revisit the past 10 days, you've had Anthony Gordon there, you've had 45 minutes with Nick Fontamora, 45 minutes with Johan Wissa, you've had an hour with Wissa, 15 minutes together, 20 minutes with Willisula. What do you do next? How do you find a solution in such an important part of the pitch, which doesn't just affect what you do going that way, it also affects what you do going that way?
Yeah, I think it's a valid question. I think we need to, and that's part of obviously the preparation when you were reviewing a game, which I did late Saturday night and most of yesterday. You're looking at the structure of the team, as you say, most important ends of the pitch, how you defend your goal and how you attack the opposition goal, and we need to find the best solution for the next game. And that may well something that keeps evolving until we find the solution that we like. We've got new players that we're trying to bed in to the team format. I've got to be honest, it's not quite functioned fully yet with the players that you've just mentioned, and that's something that we'll continue to do until we like the look of it.
Thank you. Jordan, Dominic and Kieran, please. Jordan?
Just on the back of Luke's question, is there any doubt in your mind that you are the man to continue to take this club forward?
No, there's no doubt in my mind, and that's why I'm sat here. If there was, then I wouldn't be, because, as I said, the club's the most important thing. So I'd never put myself before the club. If I didn't think I was the correct man to take the team forward and I could give the players what they need, then I would step aside and let someone else do it.
Dom?
Hi Eddie, just speaking about the squad, have you seen or spoken to the players since Saturday's game?
No, I'll have the pleasure of doing that this morning.
And when the opportunities to train are few and far between, the quick turnaround to Spurs, what was the thinking behind not seeing the players yesterday, for example?
Sometimes mental freshness, one of the issues we're suffering with is obviously mental fatigue of the game, of training. So the day after a game, I think it's a very good time to let the emotions come out of the players, and then we'll address them today. Keeping the players in here non-stop would have a very detrimental effect.
Thank you. Kieran, to finish, please.
From the outside, you'd look in and think Newcastle went from fighting relegation to winning trophies a straight line. You've had sticky spells before. How much you kind of tap into that experience and resilience when you've had that?
Yeah, I think always looking back is a healthy thing in these moments where you can see the journeys you've been on before. As you say, it's never been a straight line. There's always been difficult periods. I think this is one of the most difficult. But yeah, those experiences that I've been through before countless times stand me in good stead for this moment. And the collective spirit is what we're after. We're after the collective fight from all the players. And I think if you have that resolve within the group, you can do amazing things again. So it can turn very quickly. The momentum's against us at the moment. We have to swing the momentum back. And the world can look a very different place within a couple of games.